In comedy, there's an old saying, it comes in threes. In many ways, football follows that same formula. There is always three teams with three quarterbacks in some way, shape, or form that will stand head and shoulders above the rest of the competition, either due to consistency, style of play, or whatever intangible you want to give. This rings true in some form. The three kings for the past 20 years or so were Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, and Ben Roethlisberger, meaning the Patriots, Steelers, and Colts and Broncos were some of, if not, the best teams. The same thing is ringing true now. With all three of the other kings fallen, three new ones have risen to take their place. Now, let's talk about them. The Kansas City Chiefs for decades were always one missing piece away from truly making an impact in the AFC. They had Joe Montana and Marcus Allen in their twilight but formidable years while having the legend in Derek Thomas. Their luck didn't change much from the 90s into the 2000s. The first part of their turnaround wouldn't be until 2013 when Andy Reid would become the head coach. Reid had brought previous years of success for the Philadelphia Eagles, but ultimately falling short of winning a Super Bowl. At this point in his tenure, Reid's most memorable moment was blowing a playoff game to Andrew Luck and the Indianapolis Colts. The Chiefs were still one piece away. They still hadn't found the man to rule the kingdom.
Who it is.
With the 10th pick in the 2017 NFL Draft, the Kansas City Chiefs select Patrick Mahomes, the second quarterback.
Patrick Mahomes will probably go down as the greatest draft pick the Chiefs ever made. In his first full year as a starter, he threw for 5,097 yards, 50 touchdowns, and won the MVP 1 year after he was drafted. These weren't just impressive numbers, it was the way he was getting them. The throws Mahomes made were video game-like. He is truly the Steph Curry of football, making plays that would have gotten anybody else benched, consistently doing the impossible. That first year was so impressive, the question didn't become if, but when would the Kansas City Chiefs be Super Bowl champions? That would be answered the very next year. After losing to the Patriots in the previous AFC Championship game, they would go through two 10-plus deficits in the Divisional and AFC Championship games against the Texans and the Titans to go on to win the AFC Championship and play against the San Francisco 49ers in the Super Bowl. After being down 20-10 with 8 minutes and 53 seconds left in the fourth quarter, the Chiefs would go on to win 31-20 and win their second Super Bowl in their history, with Mahomes winning the Super Bowl MVP. Since then, the Chiefs have made a second Super Bowl appearance, have hosted the AFC Championship for 4 straight years, an NFL record, and no matter how many teams have gone to try and make their names, every team has to go and beat the Chiefs. Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL, and the AFC runs through the kingdom of the Kansas City Chiefs. The second king knows that all too well. Few franchises in sports have felt pain like the Buffalo Bills. The greatest player in their franchise is O.J. Simpson. The Bills went to 4 straight Super Bowls in the 90s and lost all 4 of them. They went through the 2000s filled of mediocrity. They would still be going through on the treadmill mediocre until they would reach the playoffs in 2017. They wouldn't go far, but the Bills Mafia would find the new head of the mob in the 2018 draft.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have traded the 7th pick to the Buffalo Bills. With the 7th pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Buffalo Bills select Josh Allen, quarterback, Wyoming.
Josh Allen's career got off to a rocky start in his first year. The Bills finished with a 6-10 record where he was 5-6 as a starter. The team was improving as Allen was by the next year, reaching the wildcard round before losing to the Houston Texans. The Bills would finally hit a different stride in the 2020 NFL season. Josh Allen became not only a threat when it came to running, but also became dangerous in the passing game. Josh Allen would finish second in MVP voting, losing to Aaron Rodgers. The Bills would go on to beat the Colts in the wildcard round, their first playoff win since 1995. They would then go up against the Baltimore Ravens. This game would be a defensive struggle between the two teams, and the score would end up being 17-3, with the Bills winning and going to the AFC Championship game. The Bills would go up against the Chiefs the second time that year, and despite an impressive performance, the Bills would lose to the Kansas City Chiefs 38-24. Though they lost, this season helped establish the Bills as maybe being the only team to have a chance to beat the Chiefs. In other words, the second king had been established. The next season would show the continued improvement of the Buffalo Bills. Nothing helped establish that more than their dismantling of the New England Patriots in the wild card. They won 47-17, in which they scored a touchdown in every single one of their possessions. They would then go on to face the Chiefs in the divisional round. In one of the best playoff games in history, it looked like the Bills would finally beat the Chiefs when it mattered most. Up 36-33 with 13 seconds left in the game, at their own 20-yard line, the Chiefs would need a miracle, or perhaps a cheetah.
They got defense got beaten up like that. This is here's Hill.
There's a chance.
Yes. Got to throw it right away, right now to someone in the middle.
Down the middle. Oh my goodness! It's going to be a 48-yard attempt.
After 2 plays and tying the game 36-all, the Chiefs would go on to beat the Bills in overtime and advance to the AFC Championship game. So close, and yet so far. The Bills showed everyone that they're capable of taking down the Chiefs, but just wasn't their time yet. They've come into this new season looking like the Super Bowl favorites, and after scary events that happened with Damar Hamlin, the Bills will have a rallying cry as they go through the playoffs. They're indeed the second king, but they know in order to get there, in order to reach the mountaintop, they must beat the Kansas City Chiefs when it matters most. And that is something easier said than done. If your name isn't Tom Brady, no one has been able to stop them. Wait, I'm sorry. Repeat that last part. No one has been able to stop them. Well, that's not technically true. I mean, yes, the Chiefs continue to be the team to beat, but the only problem is they have been beaten. Actually, one team has seemingly done what the Bills haven't been able to. They kicked down the door. In fact, they were the team that got Buffalo back into the playoffs. It's almost like you could say that they've been there, lying around the jungle. The third king came through, and they're the most interesting one. Okay, full disclosure, I'm a Bengals fan. I was born from Ohio, from Cincinnati, still live in Ohio. I'm going to do my best to not let the homer in me come out. And also, I do plan on making a video on the Bengals' last 2 seasons, the 2021 season and this current one. And however it ends up happening, win or lose, I really hope they win, I will make a video about it. But I will try to keep this as non-biased as I can. We had buildups with the Chiefs and the Bills. Allen Mahomes gave us time and a clear enough picture into where they were having their franchises going. They did the most important thing: make you believe in them. There was none of that with the Cincinnati Bengals. 2020 draft, Burrow gets injured. After drafting Jamar Chase in the 2021 draft, the best anyone was thinking for the Bengals was maybe 6 wins. In 1 year, they went 10-7, won the AFC North, and were in the playoffs. In the last 3 games of the regular season, needing to win 2 of 3 to clinch the AFC North, they beat the Ravens without Lamar Jackson, and then the Kansas City Chiefs, a team no one expected them to beat, they won. And in that moment, the third king laid the claim, I don't have to beat you. You have to beat me. Burrow would go on to win NFL Comeback Player of the Year while helping lead the most explosive offense in the NFL that season. The playoffs truly showed how real the Bengals were. After beating the Raiders in the wild card, they would go on to beat the number 1 seeded Titans even after Joe Burrow took 9 sacks. The AFC Championship game was the rematch between the Chiefs and the Bengals. And after being down 21-3, the Bengals would score and stop the Chiefs, bringing that score to be 21-10, down 11 at halftime. Ironically, that was the same number they were down in their Week 17 matchup, and they would go on to win that game, but that couldn't happen again, right?
When we score, we're going for 2.
Oh, yeah, I like that.
To the end zone for Chase. He leaps. He's got it. Touchdown. We're looking at a 52-yard field goal try to take the lead. The snap, the put down, the kick. It has the distance. It is good. 10-3. Cover with 8. Mahomes deep downfield for the Cheetah. It's deflected and intercepted by Von Bell. The kick is up. It is good!
The Bengals beating the Chiefs at Arrowhead to advance to the Super Bowl is still one of the craziest outcomes in NFL history. The 2021 Bengals might be the most unfathomable story in NFL history. However, the story did not have the happy ending, as they would lose in the Super Bowl to the Los Angeles Rams. And heading into the 2022 season, many expected the Bengals to not even get to as close as they were last year. And after starting 0-2 and going into the back half of their season at 4-4, it appeared as many in the media were right. But since their ugly loss on Halloween against the Browns, the Bengals have won 8 games in a row, played against some of the hardest competition, and are as battle-tested as any team in this coming postseason. For the 2000s to 2010s, the 3 Kings were Brady, Manning, and Big Ben. The new Kings have already laid their claims. Patrick Mahomes is sure to be a 2-time MVP and the best quarterback in the league. He's the reason why beating the Chiefs is such a daunting task. And if you want any real level of success, you gotta go through him. Josh Allen came in with potential but needed time and fine-tuning. Since then, he has given the Bills faithful hope that they haven't had since the days of Kelly, Thurman, Reed, and Smith. This could very well be their year. The moment Buffalo has been waiting for decades. It might be the year where Allen beats Mahomes in the playoffs. Burrow is the most curious case of them all, being drafted number 1 overall and having his rookie year cut short to go into the Super Bowl the very next year. It seems like the media does everything in its power to discredit the Bengals and call them flukes. But no matter how hard they try, and how hard the road has been, the Bengals find a way and win. Burrow has faced Mahomes and the Chiefs 3 times and has never lost, has been put in the lion's den repeatedly, and doesn't blink. If Burrow and the Bengals go back to the Super Bowl a second time in a row and win, there will be no denying how good the Cincinnati Bengals are. Each team, each franchise, each king has something to play for this year. One is to retain dominance. One is putting a whole city on its back. And one is looking to gain the prize that eluded them before. These 3 players, these 3 teams will battle each other for years to come. And although familiar and new faces keep popping up, and every team is looking to claim their spot as the new king of the conference. One thing remains true. Whatever new challenges arises, to take the crown, you must defeat the Kings.